since the last video, I've done a little bit to this bike, not a whole lot. I really haven't even ridden it that much simply because I don't have time. Have not put the bark busters on the handlebars yet, but I did put the Outback Mototek plate on the back and just a little box, and I may upgrade, get a bigger one here before too long, and a couple of padlocks that I can put on that to give some semblance of a lock. What I'm hoping to do today is to put the hard pannier racks on here, and also this is a different seat. This is a seat Concepts. They're thin one because I had put a lowering link to drop the back end about an inch, and then this is supposed to give me about an inch as well down. So those two changes. I've still got the original seat in perfect condition, so I'm probably going to have to take this off, this panel off, all that, just to be able to get the toolbox off. Now the pannier racks are supposed to fit over that. The problem is once the rack is over it, you can't open it, so there's no reason for it to be there. Plus, if I want to get a Rotopax, that won't fit in there. So just little by little today, the goal is to seat off, side panel off, toolbox off, and then put the pannier racks on. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. There are spacers that go here if you don't have this top plate, but with the top plate there, then it acts like the spacers. So really all I should have to do is, I've already got that bolt out, this bolt on both sides, then remove the pegs, put a bolt in here that comes with the kit, and then this will simply mount up to that hole, and where the foot peg is, it goes in there on both sides. And then you've got the bar that goes across across the back, and that'll get the pannier racks on. And then I've got on order a new shock, so that's the factory shock. And doing research, as bouncy as this thing is, especially if I want to put some luggage on it potentially, there's just no adjustment on the original shock. So rather than putting a new spring on and then having to come back later and do another thing, come back later and do another thing, I'm just going to replace it, and I'm going all out. I am getting an Öhlins, so I'm not even doing a YSS or anything. I'm just going to go ahead and get an Öhlins with a remote reservoir, and pretty much all the adjustment you could possibly get on one. So it'll be there for the future, and then if it ever needs rebuilt, it's rebuildable. So just buy once, cry once, install once. That'll also allow me, while I'm doing that, you can kind of see probably the drop link I put on it, but when I undo all of that to put the new shock in, I'm going to go ahead and grease that little triple joint there. I went ahead and got some grease. So doing some research on the shocks, I saw several people that showed the needle valves or needle bearings in there are fairly dry from the factory. So while I'm doing all that, I'll go ahead and pack some new good grease in there, take care of that while I'm at it. At some point I need to clean and lube that chain, but like I said, I've had this since 2022. It is right now 2025, and I have got I've only got 1,357 in 3 years. That's all I've gotten on it, but I'm averaging about 67 miles per gallon. So anyway, I'm gonna check inside, see if I got to do something with the parents, and come back out here and keep working on this. So I've got the seat off. To take the seat off, you take this bolt out, that bolt out, whatever, whether you've got this rack, a different rack, or no rack, take those out, and the seat just slides down in there, so it just lifts up. So it slides down in there, so it just lifts up, and then you kind of move it away. So that takes that out of the way. Then for the side guard, that plastic, you'll take that bolt out, which is right there, There may be a pin you have to kind of indent. Mine seems to be missing here, and then there's a couple of rubber grommets that hold it. I took this bolt out, which apparently I do not need to do. I was trying to figure out, because this seemed to be two pieces, but it was acting like one. So, put that back in before I forget. It seems that there is a Phillips right here, a Phillips right here, and possibly one in there. Okay, so there is a fourth screw if you're underneath. So I am laying on my back. There's a fourth screw right there. So I have the toolbox off, and that makes me feel better. This separates into two pieces, because I was trying to figure out, you know, all the wiring that's tucked in right here. What was I going to do with that if I had to take that whole piece off? But once again, with the toolbox in that position, you've got a screw here from the top, a screw here, that's the one from underneath, and then there was another one here. Now what I'm going to do with all these screws is I'm just going to put them to, I'm going to put the screws in the toolbox and lock it up. Now I think it actually, if I'm not careful, they could possibly come out, but I'm just gonna put the toolbox where I've got all my other spare parts, my extra seat, the original seat, and all that kind of stuff. So I've got that out of the way, and that opens it up. And I hadn't been using it anyway. I like the toolbox. I think it's a good place to put documents and stuff. And what I normally would do is put my registration and stuff in a couple of Ziploc bags, you know, double bag it and put it in a lockable place someplace. So I do have them with me, but for the most part I've been using the top box for that. But that gets that out of the way, and it also reminds me at some point I need to add a pigtail here for charging the battery and stuff. And it does have the extra place up top for 12-volt accessory, which one of these days I may get that and add just a charging point someplace, just so I've got it. Not that I need it right now, but it would be there. So I've got this part done, and since the side panel is off, I'm going to go ahead and leave the side panel off. Next thing is the pegs. I just need a pair of pliers to pull that pin off. Just some needle nose will probably work. So I'm just going to take that pin, get it where I can get to it. With whatever you can use to get a hold of it. Pin spins too much. Put the camera in the way. I'm just grabbing some regular pliers so I can hold this pin on the back side and it'll quit spinning on me. Okay, so now hopefully it won't spin on me so much. Try not to lose that. There's the pin. And of course, the washer. Anyway. You'd be kidding me. The battery box. That battery box is in the way. That'll be fun. So I don't know if I needed to on this, but I took this bolt out, then had to take a bolt out there to release the metal bar that holds the battery in, pull the battery out just so that I can try to flex it enough to try to get this pin out. Let's see if I can get that pin out. Okay, finally. So you got to take the freaking battery out to do that. Okay, so put my pin back in there. Got my cotter pin. Now I'm missing my washer. It fell somewhere in here. I'll see if I can find that later. If not, I'll be able to find another one. But that's a bit of a pain. So I'm not going to put that battery and stuff back in until I've got all the rest of it, just in case. But I don't think it'll be that big of a deal getting that bolt in here. Getting that bolt in that part right there. Let's see what it looks like on the other side. Looks like I'll probably have to pull this. I may not have to. I may be able to flex it there without that. But okay, and this is the washer that I need to find, the other one that dropped. May be able to get that. Okay. That one's a lot easier. Always put your parts back if you can, if you got them together the way they need to go, so you don't lose them. Don't necessarily need to bend both of them back all the way, but bend enough where you won't lose it. Next thing is, whoops, next thing is this bolt. Okay, I seem to be missing some bolts. I've got the 4 long bolts, that go in here that come with the kit. Of course, they're the same as what I've already got. But there's supposed to be a bolt for that, and I don't see it. I can probably put it all together, and then I'll have to come see if I can get that from them and get it later, or I might have to put those pins. I don't know. The bolts that go right there are missing. Yeah, the ones I had, previous ones are fine. I don't need to redo those. I did get some blue Loctite. I'm going to put that on the ones back here and on the crossbar. Well, I won't. I got nylocks. I'm not going to put blue Loctite on this one because that one needs to be able to come out to remove the seat. Just in case you're not sure getting it, there should be a bolt going in there that this locks into. It does not seem to be in the kit. However, those are there. So I've got those up there, and we'll do the same on the other side. And they do have washers. Well, I almost made a mistake. I put this bar on, and it's supposed to be pointed up, and I actually had it upside down. It's pointed down, but before I tightened everything up, I caught it. And the main reason I'm putting it on is like I said, I got some soft luggage, but I didn't want that soft luggage wrapping over onto the exhaust, and probably wouldn't hurt it, probably be okay. And then hopefully it'll also give me a little bit more protection if I just lay it down. So I'm going to take these bolts, I'm going to put the battery and stuff back in, put these bolts out, put the seat back on, and then I'll tighten those, and then I'll contact the company and see what we're going to do about those bolts. Well, I got them on, and they're pretty solid. I mean, that's fairly solid, but you can see it's moving up here. It really should have that in there, but I'm going to contact Revzilla, I believe, that I bought this through, or Outback Mototek themselves, whichever one, and see if I can get those bolts. But that gives me a way to put the soft panniers on, soft luggage, mounting points, plenty of places for tying stuff. So top box, DIY, back plate, pannier racks. You got the different foot pegs, got the front crash bar, got the bash plate. That's all I've done so far. I mean, at some point I may add lighting. I may find a toolbox. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a rotor pack in here or a toolbox. For right now I'm using the top box, but that kind of gets me done for now.